It's no secret that the Oscars often get it wrong. Sometimes the mistake is obvious, other times the true winners only become clear with time, and some choices can be subjective. Here's our purely subjective list of the most deserving Oscar losers over the decades, films that were more worthy of the award than the actual winners. The 1998 Academy Awards saw Titanic sweep the night, winning 11 Oscars, including Best Picture. James Cameron's epic romance disaster film had everything the Academy gravitates toward: romance, tragedy, spectacle, and historical significance, while also being a technical and commercial triumph. In contrast, Curtis Hanson's LA Confidential was a completely different kind of film, a masterclass in neo-noir filmmaking. Hanson captured the essence of classic film noirs while modernizing the genre with sleek cinematography, meticulous period detail, and razor-sharp pacing. Set in the 1950s Los Angeles, the film unfolds as a gripping tale of crime, corruption, and moral ambiguity. Unlike Titanic, which follows a sweeping yet straightforward love story, LA Confidential masterfully interweaves multiple intricate plot lines, filled with sharp, unpredictable twists that challenge the audience and reward careful attention. Beyond its crime narrative, LA Confidential delves into weightier themes: corruption, power, media manipulation, and the dark underbelly of Hollywood, offering a deeper, more thought-provoking reflection on American society. It remains a benchmark for neo-noir storytelling, an example of how to craft a gripping, intelligent thriller without relying on spectacle. With each rewatch, it reveals new layers of character and plot, proving itself to be a film that only grows richer over time.
You're the payoff expert. I'm just doing my duty. Come on, you're playing an angle here, college boy, right? You're getting something out of this so you don't have to hobnob with rank-and-file cops who are going to hate your guts for snitching. Well, if they're making you detective, watch out. Some bureau guys are going to burn in this, and you're going to end up working with friends of theirs.
What about you?
I'm snitching 3 old-timers who'll be fishing in Oregon this time next week. Next to you, I'm clean and smart.
In 1951, 2 films were the frontrunners in the battle for Best Picture: All About Eve and Sunset Boulevard. Directed by Billy Wilder, who would later go on to make Some Like It Hot, the race was neck and neck, with both films receiving high praise from critics. All About Eve impressed with its deep psychological insight, sharp satire of the theater world, and the outstanding performance of Bette Davis. Meanwhile, Sunset Boulevard was recognized for its unexpectedly dark portrayal of Hollywood and Gloria Swanson's unforgettable performance. However, the top prize ultimately went to All About Eve. Unlike its competitor, Billy Wilder's film is now seen not just as a dramatic story, but as a tragedy where art and life merge into one. It tells the story of the death of a unique, now irretrievably lost art form: silent cinema. This seismic shift changed the industry, leaving behind once mighty film giants to fade away, losing their sanity in a world of sound where they were no longer needed. The themes of fame, decay, and the ruthless nature of show business remain as relevant as ever. And lines like "I am big, it's the pictures that got small" have become iconic in pop culture. Sunset Boulevard also broke traditional storytelling conventions, starting with a narration from a protagonist who was already dead. Today, the film feels far more modern than its Oscar-winning rival thanks to its noir style, harsh contrasts of light and shadow, and elements of psychological horror. But honestly, if time allows, both films are essential viewing.
We'll be working again, won't we, Chief? We'll make our greatest picture.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you
It's a
about.
good script, isn't it?
Well, it has some good things in it, yes, but it'll be a very expensive picture.
Oh, I don't care about the money. I just want to work again. You don't know what it means to know that you want me.
Nothing would please me more, Norma, if it were possible.
And remember, darling, I don't work before 10 in the morning and never after 4:30 in the afternoon.
At the 2023 Academy Awards, Everything Everywhere all at once dominated the night, winning Best Picture along with 6 other Oscars. Blending science fiction, martial arts, family drama, and absurdist comedy, the film was undeniably bold and inventive. However, at times, its over-the-top absurdity seemed to exist for its own sake, with the narrative unraveling midway through. In contrast, Triangle of Sadness offered a more structured and sharp-edged satire, divided into 3 distinct acts: the fashion industry critique, the luxury yacht mayhem, and the survivalist role reversal. Ruben Östlund's film dissected class, power, and human nature with a biting, unpredictable perspective rarely seen in mainstream cinema. His critique of wealth, privilege, and the absurdity of social hierarchies exposed the ridiculousness of capitalism and influencer culture. while Everything Everywhere all at once delivered an uplifting message about love and kindness, Triangle of Sadness forced audiences to confront uncomfortable truths about society. It tackled class struggle and societal hypocrisy with brutal honesty, leaving a far more unsettling and thought-provoking impression. Long after the credits roll, its piercing social commentary continues to resonate, making it a film that truly lingers in the mind.
Well, our products have been employed in upholding democracy all over the world.
What product is that?
Basically, our best-selling product is the hand grenade.
Sorry, the what? The hand grenade, dear.
For a long time, it was the personal exploding device, but then came those UN regulations and messed everything up.
Casablanca, a title everyone recognizes, a film universally admired. It's almost unthinkable that someone would say, Casablanca? No, I was far more moved by the Oxbow incident, but let's consider it for a moment. 1943, the 15th Academy Awards. The winner, Casablanca. The overlooked masterpiece, the Oxbow incident. A gripping Western that, in just 75 minutes, delivers a powerful emotional punch. It's a film about justice and how quickly it can become a blind vengeance. While other films had touched on the theme mob psychology, none had explored it with such depth and complexity. Henry Fonda plays a cowboy who joins a group who are hunting down suspected murderers, only to realize that their pursuit of justice is veering into a lynch mob mentality. What begins as a straightforward search for criminals turns into a chilling reflection on human nature. In many ways, the film anticipates 12 Angry Men, another Fonda classic. For Fonda, this story was deeply personal. In 1919, at just 14 years old, he witnessed the lynching of a black man during the Omaha race riots, an event that profoundly shaped his lifelong awareness of mob mentality. While Casablanca offered romance and heroism, the Oxbow incident held up a mirror to society's darkest impulses. It didn't comfort audiences, it unsettled them, forcing them to confront uncomfortable truths about justice, morality, and the ease with which right can turn into wrong.
Listen, why don't you stop this farce and take us in if you think we had anything to do with it?
Cause the law's slow and careless around here sometimes. We're here to see it speeded up.
Who sent you up here?
The sheriff.
That ain't true.
Let's don't get started again. It's getting late.
The sheriff didn't even know we were coming.
I beg your pardon. I should have said the deputy sheriff.
Listen, men, I'm not trying to obstruct justice, but just as this young man says, this is a farce, and it'll be murder if you carry it through.
The 1999 Academy Awards delivered one of the most controversial Best Picture wins in history when Shakespeare in Love triumphed over Saving Private Ryan. While Shakespeare in Love was a witty period romance, Saving Private Ryan was a groundbreaking war epic that redefined its genre. A major factor in Shakespeare in Love's victory was Miramax's aggressive Oscar campaign, spearheaded by Harvey Weinstein. He revolutionized awards lobbying, bombarding Academy members with an intense marketing strategy. Additionally, film aligned with the Academy's long-standing preference for period dramas, literary themes, and romance, genres that often fare better than gritty war films in the Best Picture race. Remember Apocalypse Now? However, Saving Private Ryan's impact on cinema was undeniable. Steven Spielberg's immersive and unflinchingly realistic depiction of combat, especially the harrowing D-Day sequence, set a new standard for war films. It was no surprise that Spielberg won the Oscar for Best Director, recognizing his ability to blend large-scale action with deeply personal storytelling. At its core, it was more than just a war movie. It was an emotionally resonant story of sacrifice, duty, and the human cost of conflict. Tom Hanks's portrayal of Captain Miller, a leader burdened by the horrors of war, added depth to the film, making it both epic and intimate. The film's themes remain timeless, and its influence can be seen in later works like 1917, Dunkirk, and the acclaimed miniseries Band of Brothers.
Arzo? Is it,
Hey, drop dead, Corporal.
Gotcha.
And another thing, every time you salute the captain, you make him a target for the Germans. So do us a favor, don't do it. Especially when I'm standing next to him, capiche?
Hey, capiche.
Corporal, what's your book about? Hey, what's your rifle?
Actually, it's supposed to be about the bonds of brotherhood that developed between soldiers during war.
Brotherhood? What do you know about brotherhood?
In 1965, the charming musical My Fair Lady won 8 Oscars and became the second highest-grossing film of the year. Its victory was a natural choice for the Academy, which has traditionally favored grand, emotionally rich dramas over dark, satirical, or subversive films. Meanwhile, Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove was anything but a conventional Hollywood production. At the height of the Cold War, Kubrick dared to create a darkly comedic satire that exposed the absurdity of nuclear politics. No other film has so effectively captured the terrifying reality of global destruction with such biting humor. A story of reckless leaders, unchecked military power, and the looming threat of nuclear war, all of which feel eerily familiar today. Shot in stark black and white with a documentary-style realism. At its center is Peter Sellers, delivering one of the greatest comedic performances in film history, playing 3 distinct characters. Dr. Strangelove reshaped how war and politics were depicted in cinema. It stripped away the heroism often associated with political and military leaders, instead portraying them as flawed, absurd, and dangerously incompetent. The film set a new standard for satire, influencing filmmakers like the Coen brothers and Adam McKay, and even shaping public discourse on nuclear policy, with terms like doomsday machine entering the cultural lexicon. More than just a film, Strangelove became a lasting critique of power, paranoia, and human folly.
Deterrence is the art of producing in the mind of the enemy the fear to attack. And so, because of the automated and irrevocable decision-making process which rules out human meddling, the doomsday machine is terrifying. It's simple to understand and completely credible and convincing.
Gee, I wish we had one of them doomsday machines, Stainsy.
From today's perspective, it's almost unimaginable that at the 14th Academy Awards in 1942, How Green Was My Valley took home Best Picture over Citizen Kane. Directed by John Ford, How Green Was My Valley is a nostalgic and sentimental tale of a Welsh mining family, filled with emotion, tragedy, and stunning cinematography. Its themes of family, loss, and industrial hardship struck a deep chord with audiences, especially during World War II, when people sought comfort in stories of resilience and unity. It was a safe, heartfelt choice, one that aligned with Hollywood's preference for traditional, uplifting narratives. Meanwhile, Citizen Kane faced significant controversy due to its perceived critique of media mogul William Randolph Hearst. Hearst actively worked to suppress the film, banning coverage in his newspapers and discouraging theaters from screening it. This undoubtedly hurt its chances at the Oscars. Yet, Citizen Kane was nothing short of revolutionary. Orson Welles' debut shattered cinematic conventions, pioneering deep-focus cinematography, non-linear storytelling, and complex narrative structures. The film's multi-perspective exploration of Charles Foster Kane's rise and fall was unprecedented, redefining how stories could be told on screen. Though overlooked at the time, Citizen Kane became a landmark in film history, shaping generations of filmmakers and influencing everything from cinematography to editing and narrative techniques.
I suppose he had some private sort of greatness, but he kept it to himself. He never gave himself away. He never gave anything away. He just left you a tip. He had a generous mind. I don't suppose anybody ever had so many opinions. But he never believed in anything except Charlie Kane. He never had a conviction except Charlie Kane in his life. I suppose he died without one. It's been pretty unpleasant.
So, watch good movies, give a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't always trust the ratings, even from the most prestigious committees.